Division is how Salvatore Ranieri appeared. I just finished presenting it a particular layout. Why? Because it enhances many spaces in a boat that you have thought for those who are also approaching the first purchase. It is a boat that can satisfy even those who may have already had some boat, but this is still a measure in the fees, say, of those who perhaps for the first time approach the purchase, an EUNA bank that offers spaces that I also struggle to distinguish well what the 275 is from the 255. Because you struggle, you will be on board and you have that feeling of freedom of movement. A curiosity, 255 stands yes for length because standing 25 is 25.5 feet. Actually, it is also the maximum width in centimeters. Of course, in this case, it is 2.55 m,
so regularly trolleyable. Yeah, so
this is an important advantage because we can take it everywhere and without any special license, without particularly demanding cars. It is a brand really designed for the family that wants to live with serenity, a beautiful day of sea. We will now try it with this Suzuki 300 horses, can also be motorized with a bi-motor.
The homologation provides for mono or bi-engine up to 350
degrees. So here we say the maximum installable power, 350, then choose the two of you from 365, or in this case, one from 300, but we could also have 3 and 50, so we could also put even more sportiness, but you'll see that. It is a boat that already gives satisfaction with these 300 horsepower. I tried it. It's a boat that also gives you those moments of adrenaline when you want to be sporty. Clearly, it was born mainly to really give a lot of liveability on board. Both above the deck, you saw it, and then below you did a half miracle, because on the 275, I could understand it. But what it is to also bring back such an important bathroom that was 255.
Yes, let's say that 255 is a very young bank. Think about it. Also designed for families. In fact, the spaces on board are actually important. We worked a lot on the design, then on the layout of the deck. And I must say that the cabin has 2 comfortable beds, an area also dedicated to the storage of luggage, bags, and whatever else, and one separate toilet. I have to say very comfortable for the category. I would say a lot.
We really have a lot of height. I think we are about 2 meters wide.
And man height should be, yes, 190 about. So anyway, it's a height of the whole.
A respect that satisfies 90% of those who are perhaps 2.10 men tall lower for a moment. Then now we are ready to test the performance of a 300 horsepower Suzuki, a Suzuki engine. Perfect for the family because it is an engine that gives satisfaction when we want to run, but above all, frugal and not very reliable, never creates problems. Really reliable engine in daily use, which is important because then the summer always lasts what it lasts. And it's a shame maybe to burn yourself a few days for a mechanical problem. Suzuki from the other one, congratulations, you should always do it. The Japanese are also very careful to give you this serenity. I was just saying, oh, now we put our shoelace on, always put it on. No, it's a guarantee. Not only when we are sporty, but it's worth having it. Why? Anything can happen on board. It's true, there are 2 of us, now Salvatore is there, but having him means that the boat stops. What about us now? Let's try it. And then guys, let's see these 300 horsepower. We left the lanyard, the cameras are all on, we have a shot from the bow, we have a shot that takes the whole boat from the outside, so you can also evaluate with your own eyes how the boat behaves. I'll tell you about it. I have all the equipment, so we have the laps, we have the hourly consumption, we have the nodes, and then let's see how it behaves both in daily use and when we are a little sporty. Let's start gliding it. Trimming down. Negative. I'll give him some power right away to get him out. Here he is already looking at her from day in this. I'm gonna grab some handcuffs, aren't I? And I decide what might be the height I want to sail with. We aim along the coast and we do a bit of long coast, so you can also admire. This is the location. Soberado, where they are born in the international line, and therefore you will also have the opportunity with that other camera to enjoy the place where we are, a place that recalls the desire to go and stop with a boat at this moment. Now I'm going to look for a better setup to be able to stay at 20 knots than LA. Cruise, I consider. Perfect, 21 knots, now 35 liters. We are very close to the famous meeting place because now it has gained a few knots. We are at 25 and it remains at 328 liters. He thinks we let them take the engine control units and give them time. We have to find the right pace with the conditions we have at the moment to have a frugal cruise
Therefore, a cruise that allows us to do many miles without consuming a lot of petrol, call it. An eye on the wallet, but also on the environment. Less petrol, we burn less. We're going to pollute 25 knots, 33 liters. Now, guys, 4,000 RPM. This is your perfect coconut.
No, but how?
See the boat? It behaves exceptionally well, stable, and following the course without need for anchoring. This allows smooth operation.
Set the grades?
That's them. We gave a 30% to Dream, and in this place, there are 2 of us on board. Here is the boat. I didn't comment on that.
Moment with this.
Configuration? We're about 2,500 kilos, not just the boat. It's 2,000 kilos. Then there's the engine. Then there's obviously a bit of accessories on board, full of petrol, 40% petrol, drinking water. In short, we're 2,500 kilos, 400 horsepower, so a ratio that we could define as. Not an AA7 because it's 300 horsepower. So imagine that for every boat ride we have, for every 7 kilos of boat, we have a horse available, right? And so let's say it's not even a very close relationship, very close, because here we could exaggerate, go to 3 and 50, and we could have even more nastiness. But I think this pace...
Look at this stuff.
Now it's 37,936 liters.
And so this...
It is to show here what classic navigation can be for those who weren't there without it yet.
Prove what?
It's the opportunity. Now let's also try to see how he behaves in the moment when we are distracted. We have to avoid someone. The responsiveness of the boat. Guys, look here. I send it all the way to the left side. I can lower the trip a little bit to avoid a little cavitation. But look here. I'm going to close it even more, and I didn't take anything away. It's about 25 knots. I'm going to close the circle VA. Let's close everything. Look how it closes the circle. I can close it again, obviously, if I want. At that point, the boat becomes much more controllable, and look how we are closing more and more. This is the proof that the career works very well. No, we have 20 knots, and we are closing a circle that has a diameter of 12, 13 meters in diameter. Look at that stuff. And now let's try to see if by checking we have gravitation problems, how the boat also behaves if it has. It assumes strange behaviors. You see that? No, it is clean, it is linear. It is bent on the other side. We are on the duration of 30, and I also continue on this side to do, I lower the camera 3 and 60, so we have a beautiful image from the boat, all bent on the side. This to demonstrate that even if it is not a dinghy, we do not have trouble. But look at the boat as it is, shoveled, and we remain safe. The bank doesn't spread more than that. It allows us to make everyone feel calm, even those who are with us. Maybe we are doing this, that moment of play. You have...
See but one.
Does the bank allow it? At this point, however, the data that everyone is waiting for is missing, and we also go with 300 horses. How much can we get? So now we head towards Catanzaro, and let's drop the handcuffs and start seeing. Let's give a little 3. Waves go up. We're already at 38 knots, 39. 40 and a half went up right away. As it comes out of the water, this boat flies on the water. We are at 40:01:30, guys. 41 and 6, 41 and 7, playing a little with the triple and finding the perfect setup we can. 41 and 8, we find 41, 9. Come on, 42 bits. Here it is. 42-1. Guys, 42 knots with this 300 horsepower Suzuki. I would say that we also have the speed, 40 for 2, 40 for 4. So even in speed, when we want to launch it, there are moments to produce it to feel even a little around the engine. Have you seen how the boat assumes the sporting assumption? Now I have taken off a little. We are at 35 degree, 5,000 RPM. This is also a cruise because we entered the regime. Below 5,000 RPM then, the engine is back to relax. We are at 45 liters, now at 33 knots. We are always just over the liter mile. We will be a liter, and 2 1 liter, and 3 per mile. So guys, this means we know the engine, an engine that gives satisfaction even in those terms of customs, but it must marry with a hull that is, as I always say, must jump and must make it efficient, must give it the opportunity to express itself. We also have an encounter with the dolphins. Let's see if we can document it, but maybe we got too close.
Here they are.
They greet us with 3 E's.
We see 60. And guys, we also have the
Dolphins that are
come to celebrate the news of Casa Ranieri International. Well, you didn't organize this. You called this thing Rap Dolphins O. Is it random?
But let's just say we called.
I want to underline these aspects. You have seen how the boat really gives satisfaction in all gates, both when we want to be calm at 20, 25 knots. There is a minimum cruising, to be able to sail perhaps long distances, so do as many miles, 100 here you can go from here. Let's take the Aeolian Veils, with one brand so you can do everything. Then one more cheerful cruise when maybe we are more in a hurry to get there. But we keep consumption close to the intro mile, so this is interesting. It means that from 25 to 35 knots, we choose the pace based on two things. One is the rush we have. Additionally, consider the type of sea we encounter that day.
We will decide the pace in.
We know from the wave motion that between 25 and 35 knots, the consumption remains consistent at 1 to 2 liters, 1 to 3 liters per mile. This is the captain's peace of mind.
What can he choose?
What is the best pace without having to deal with what could be a higher consumption than he had thought? This is especially true when we do many miles, so important transfers, a cruise. Let's say 50 miles up, right? Then when we do the sea day, we do 5, 6 miles. Then there these speeches lose their meaning, we have fun, and use it as we have done now, having fun. In short, Senator, I think you are happy with what you have done because it is such a small boat that gives all these satisfactions, both in terms of space and in terms of performance. Well, you've managed to pull off a half miracle.
Yes, we are happy with how the project has been successful. And already, after a few hours from the publication on social media of the first images, we have already started to receive many requests, many contacts to have information and know where to see them, try them in preview. So I have to say that we are quite loaded for the fairs that next month will start with Cannes, Genoa, and then to follow. And the 255 will, together with the Cayman 33, be one of the two novelties for the 2025 season.
That's what
I have noticed is that since
it arrived,
the 3 and 30, I think I have noticed how there has also been a change in what is there. On certain solutions that you adopted on board, such as an area dedicated to the sink in the kitchen. Here, there is a lot in America there is on board now because you also have to satisfy perhaps that market, which however also likes in Italy, no, because these solutions are liked.
I would say that in recent years, we have taken a lot of technical aspects into consideration.
They came from that market.
Both technical and practical aspects of other markets, including the United States.
So I would say that Salvatore told you about the appointment at this point. You have to come to the International Assembly in Genoa because I am from home and they are there. It is an important presence of Ranieri International waiting for you in the Blue Pavilion to welcome you. You can congratulate them on what they are doing all these years to carry our flag high in the world. Then for those who can also come to Cannes, where there will be the official debut of the 255. I consider it a bit like the boating festival, so it's an opportunity to really celebrate the novelty because the location also lends itself to celebrations. Cannes has always been a bit of an environment, then we are still in the middle of summer, people are still at sea with boats, so those who are at sea mix with those who come to the fair. In short, a special moment that must be lived. Come if you can. Also to Cannes, and then all the fairs that will come after you will stay updated also from the Running International page. For those who may not be present on this occasion, they will then be present in all international mornings, including the United States, where this will be a boat waiting for them.
This will also be exhibited in Fort Lauderdale A. So at the end of October, it will also be in the United States together with other models of the range, clearly both boat division and inflatable division. So in addition, we are already planning. After the Genoa Boat Show of the ports open in Italy, so should you try out the news? Yes, news, and not only news in different parts of Italy. So if you follow us on our official social media, from there we will indicate time and time again where we will be present and where you can find our boat or our dinghy.